Hello, everyone. Welcome to All the World's a Stage, a tribute the bard William Shakespeare with today's Gen Z. Don't you all think Shakespeare is the only probable man who is still relatable after 409 years of his death? Isn't that such a remarkable feat to achieve? With that thought on, I hope you all have already subscribed to our YouTube channel. Let's just roll into the program. To begin with, we have a very powerful queen of Shakespeare from one of his finest historical tragedies. Queen Margaret is the perfect representation of rage and agony. We have Manasa here to demonstrate the agony that Queen Margaret went through after the demise of her beloved husband, King Richard III, and her beloved son, Prince of Wales, Edward. So let's listen to Manasa.
What? Were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by throat, and turn you all your hatred now on me? Did York's dread curse prevail so much with heaven, that Henry's death, my lovely Edward's death, their kingdom's loss, my woeful banishment, could all but answer for that peevish brat? Can curses pierce the clouds and enter heaven? Why then, give away dark clouds to my quick curses. If not by war, by suffered die your king, as asked by murder to make him a king. For Edward, thy son, which is now Prince of Wales, for Edward, my son, which was Prince of Wales, die in his youth by like untimely violence. Thyself a queen, for me that was a queen. Outlive thy glory like my wretched self. Long mayst thou live to wail thy children's loss, and see another as I see thee now. Death in thy rights as thou art told in mine. Long die thy happy days before thy death, and after many lengthened hours of grief, thy neither mother, wife, nor England's queen. Rivers and Dorset you were standards by, and so wast thou, Lord Hastings, when my son was stabbed with bloody daggers. God, I pray him that none of you may live your natural age, but by some unlooked accident cut off.
Wow, what an immortal performance, Manasa. Thank you for such a powerful kickoff. Next, we have one of the most famous and probably the last few written plays by Shakespeare, The Tempest. You know what makes Tempest very, very, important in Shakespeare's list of books? It is because Tempest is a comedy, but Tempest is the only work of Shakespeare in which even minor characters, like the characters who just come and pass by, have a very serious impact on the play. And we are going to meet such a gesture from the world of The Tempest. Shakespeare introduces him as the cowardly man with a fine taste of aesthetics. Proving to be the true jester of our group, we have Sai Suhas as Trincolo taking us to the Caliban Island. Let's invite Sai Suhas.
Yours need a bush, not shrub, to bear off any weather at all. And the storm blowing. I answered I remained. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a fool bumper that to shed its litter. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud, cannot choose but fall by peripherals. What am I here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? A fish. He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. A kind of not of a newest John. A strange fish. When in England now, once I was an ant. But this fish painter not only holiday fool there, but would give me a piece of silver. That what this monster made the man. Any strange beast that makes the man. When they will not give a dog to them, a lame beggar, a lazy out tent to see a dead Indian, led like a man, and a speech like arms. Oh my God. I do now. Let's lose my opinions. Would it no longer? This is no fish, but a Nile island that lately suffered by a thunderstorm. Alas, the storm has summoned in. My best way is to sleep until stubborn done. There is no other shelter here. Misery adventure man, strange bedfellows. I will hear short till the depths of the storm be past.
That was an exceptional performance. Thank you so much, Sai. There are a lot of authors who have written very many memorable plays, stories, novels in the world of literature. Do you know what makes Shakespeare stand apart? It's the way he blends his themes into comedy or tragedy. For example, let's take the classic Merchant of Venice. Very great human virtues like prejudice, law, mercy, forgiveness, fairness, love, greed, generosity. All such great virtues are entwined into a comedy, makes it very, very enduring for us to read. And it's a journey everybody should reckon on. And what should I say? Well, the most beautiful, gracious, intelligent, and quick-witted Portia. Do you believe me? We have Hannah to show how quick-witted Portia was when she explained what is mercy to Shylock, help Antonio save from his case. So let's listen to Hannah.
Quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. T is the mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His sceptre shows the force of temporal power, his attributes to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and the fear of kings. But mercy is above that sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, the strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
Wow, that was a very realistic performance, Hannah. You just showed how Portia had found the kiss. Thank you so much, Hannah. Next up, the most powerful political thriller by Shakespeare. The only play which gave us the greatest quote of all the time. It says, cowards die many times before their death, but valiant is death just once. I know most of you might have guessed the playwright. It's Julius Caesar. One of the many twists and plots in Julius Caesar is how a very passionate man like Mark Antony could stir up the masses and create a mutiny upon his dear friend Caesar's assassination. Are you confused? Is it too much information to process? Don't worry. We are going to relive this moment through Logachithan. So let's listen to Logachithan as Mark Antony.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it is a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered it. Here, on the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak on Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He had got many captives home to Rome, whose ransom to the general coffers fell. Did this and Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor had cried, Caesar had wept. Ambition should not have stern our stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see on the Lupercal, I thrice presented in the kingly court, which he did thrice refuse. Is this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all loved him at once, not without a cause. What cause without you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, the men that lost their reasons. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. I must pause until it comes back to me.
Wow, such a powerful performance, Logachitan. I can truly envision how the masses would have got stood upon after such a powerful speech. Thank you so much. Next up, do you know which play of Shakespeare has magic spirits in it? Okay, let us do this. I'm going to give you all a moment. I'm going to pause for a moment. Comment down which play of Shakespeare do you think is in the genre of fantasy and comedy? Okay, I hope you all had commented down below. The answer is The Tempest. The Tempest is so popular all around the world across age groups because it combines the genres of fantasy and comedy, the two most loved genres, right? So in Tempest, like I said, there are a lot of spirits because it is fantasy. And we have one such spirit here today amidst us. Donna, dressed up as Ariel, the airy spirit who was taking against three men at once. Are you wondering what is it all about? Let's see how Ariel tackles three men at the same time. Let's listen to Donna.
You are the three men of sin, whom destiny that had to instrument this lower world. And what is it? The never suffered sea had caused to belch up you. And on this island, where men doth not inhabit you amongst men, being most unfit to live, I have made you mad. And even with such like valor, men hang and drown their proper selves. Alonso, Sebastian, and Antonio draw their swords. You fools, I and my fellows are ministers of fate, the elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or will be mocked at stabs. Kill the still closing waters, as diminish one thou that's in my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt your swords, are now too massy for your strength, and will not be uplifted. But remember that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, hath incensed the seas and shores. Yeah, all the creatures against your peace, the of Dyson, Alonso, they have bereft, and do pronounce by me, lingering perdition, worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you and your ways, whose wraths to guard you from, which here is this most desolate isle, else falls upon your head. There's nothing but heart sorrow and a clear life ensuing.
Wow, that was a magical performance, Donna. Next up, We all know Shakespeare as the king of tragedies or the king of comedies. But there are few plays of Shakespeare that necessarily cannot be categorized nor as a tragedy or as a comedy. Pericles, the Prince of Tyre, is one such play. So then if you ask me, then what genre is Pericles? I would say Pericles, the Prince of Tyre, is just the journey of Pericles from a prince to a king. And today we have Mithrin representing Pericles himself. He is here as he takes upon the famous Alonso the king and talks to him on how kings who are so powerful actually end up making more sense than the common people. Isn't the story so relatable to today's generation? But for thought, I'll be listen to Mithran.
Great king. Few love to hear the sins, they love to act. To upbraid yourself, too near for me to tell it. Who has a book of all that monarchs do? He's more secure to keep it shut than show. For wise repeated is like the wandering wind, blows dust in others' eyes to spread itself, and yet the end of all is brought thus dear. The breath is gone, and the sore eyes see clear. To stop the air would hurt them. The blind mole casts curved hills towards heaven to tell the earth is strong by man's oppression, and the poor worm doth die for it. Kings are earth's gods. In vice, their laws, their will, and if Jove stray, who dares say Jove doth ill? It's enough, and it's fit. What being more known grows worse to smother it. All love the worm that they force being bred. Then leave my tongue like lead to love my head.
Wow, it just looks like I witnessed how Pericles would have just spoken to the king. Thank you so much, Mithrin. Moving on, we have the doting father who unfortunately lost his twin sons. Are you wondering which father am I talking about? It's one character that is the least spoken about, but is very prominent in the play, Classic Comedy of Errors. We have Laksha playing the role of Egan, the doting father, who is actually reminiscing a very disheartening experience he had in his life. Get ready to be thrilled, to feel sad, shocked, and disappointed because life sometimes, my friends, throws all kinds of struggles at us. Let's listen to Laksha.
Oh, had the gods done so, had not worthily turned up merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon. Our helpless ship was splintered in the midst, so that this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left both of us alike. What a delight, what a sorrowful! Her back, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind, and in our sight, the three were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length, another ship had seized on us, and knowing whom it was, they had to save. Gave helpful welcome to the shipwrecked guests, and would have left the fishes of their prey, had not the bark been very slow of sail, and therefore homeward they bent their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss, that by misfortunes was my life prolonged to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
That was a spectacular performance. Thank you so much, Laksha. I hope you all remember the spectacular performance of Mark Antony that you all just witnessed. But that make you wonder, why was Caesar even assassinated? I have the answer for you. Do you know what was the last words that Caesar spoke when he just fell down. It was et tu brute. That means he was actually talking about his friend. In a shock, couldn't believe that his own friend assassinated him. Do you want to know why? Let's listen to Madesh as Marcus Brutus as he goes on and tells us why he assassinated Julius Caesar. Let's listen to Madesh.
Romans, countryman, and lover, hear me for my cause, but be silent that you may hear. Believe me for the divine honor, and give respect to the divine honor that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom and correct the sins that you may be the better judge. If there's anyone, any dear friend of Caesar, to him I say, Brutus knew to Caesar was no less than this. If then that friend demands why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I love Caesar less, but I love Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and dying all slaves than that Caesar were dying to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I beat him. As he was fortunate, I rejoiced at him. As he was violent, I honored him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death was ambition. Who is here so base would not be a born man? If any speak for him, have I offended? Who is here so rude would not be a Roman? If any speak for him, have I offended? Who is here so well would not love his country? If any speak for him, have I offended? I pause for a reply. The none have I offended? Have I no more than Caesar that you shall do to Brutus? The question of his death is enrolled in Capitol.
Thank you so much, Madesh. I hope everybody got the reason why Caesar was assassinated and how the mutiny started after his assassination. That's a whole story of Julius Caesar, by the way, guys. So next up, I have a very interesting fact for all of you. We've already seen 2 monologues from the play called The Tempest. I couldn't resist but bring in one more monologue because of my personal love towards The Tempest. But did you all know, in The Tempest, the whole play of The Tempest, there's only one major female character, and that's the protagonist? Isn't it so weird that in the whole of the play, you just have one female character? But let me tell you, what a character, Miranda. The kind-hearted, the beautiful, and the epitome of purity. Let's listen to Mokshita as she shows how kind-hearted she is to her father. Let's give it up for Mokshita.
Why your art, my dearest father? You have put the wild waters in the straw and laden. The sky, it seems, could pour down stinking pitch, but the sea, mounting the volcan's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth or air. It should the good ship so have swallowed and the frowning souls within her.
That was a great performance. Thank you so much, Mokshita. Last but not the least, we have the title of the play coming up, All the World's a Stage. It's a very powerful monologue from As You Like It. This powerful monologue is very special because in this, Shakespeare takes us through the different phases of life. Anana, not going to give you out what the monologue is completely about because we have Pushpak as Mark Dacus decoding All the World's a Stage. So let's listen to Pushpak.
All the world is the stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. He acts being 7 inches, at first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining warning face, creeping like a snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with an awful ballad, Mato's mistress eyebrow. Then the soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the part, jealous and honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair wrong belly, with good cap and line, with eye severe and beard of a formal cut, full of wise sauce and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth age into lean and slippered pant, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. For his youthful horse, well saved a world too wide, for his strong shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, his second childishness, and mere of beyond. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
That was an awesome performance. Thank you so much, Pushpak. I hope you all enjoyed watching our show. In today's world of Disney, Hotstar, Amazon Prime, and Netflix, it is very important that we take a moment to relive, read, and enjoy literature. Because they say a book is a film played in the reader's mind. Books can create curiosity, interest, while improving your language. So I hope we have done our part in piquing your curiosity and interest towards literature and books. Just think about it. With the winter onset, what could be a great wintertime activity? Cozy corner, curled up into a blanket, a great book in hand, and your favorite hot beverage. Could be a hot chocolate, a coffee, or a cup of tea. That's the perfect way to enjoy this winter. So come, let's start reading and enjoy and appreciate our literature. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end of the show. This means the world to us. Until we see you next time, it's MyBeeClub Prime signing off. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe.